to make good pierogi, you have to be calm, in a good mood, you know. My grandma would always tell me, because she was the one who taught me how to make pierogi and other Polish meals, that you have to be in a good mood to cook, because she always says, I don't want to eat your problems, okay?
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're one of the surprising number of people that are new here, quick introduction. I'm Wieliczka.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Around the World and Back. Right now we live in England, and our goal is to try and hit 50 countries before we move. This is number 11.
Today's city and destination is Krakow, Poland. And it's pretty stressful to get here. With Wieliczka leaving work pretty late and trying to scramble to get to the airport, we were very close to missing our flight. Luckily, they did an overhead call that said, if you're headed here, come to the front of the line. So we presented our vaccination, PLF, passports, everything needed to come to this country. We were one of the last 3 people to board the aircraft. After that, it was a pretty simple flight. We got here into the city. They checked our passport, went through all that, took a Uber to our hotel, and just called it a night.
Our room last night was even better than we were anticipating. I mean, this hotel is even a step above of what we're used to getting. We normally just pick something that's cheap and within walking distance of the city center. This one's a little bit nicer, and then the lady at the front desk was nice enough to give us an upgrade. So we got a slightly bigger room and a balcony. So we're feeling very bougie. This morning, we've just got time to explore. Our first excursion isn't until this afternoon, where we've got a food tour. So we're just gonna check out the city center and see all the cool things that it has to offer.
So if I'm reading this correctly, we're in the town center. There's a town hall and lots of markets and restaurants around us. There's so many good smells. It's just so lively. I'm really excited to be able to go and try some of the food. And it's just, there's so many things to do here. There's horse-drawn carriages. There's a giant inn where people like to put their head inside, and they're setting up for some sort of event or concert. Guys, we found some food. It's not Polish food, but it's good food. After lunch, we started walking around the city center and realized that while these things are close together, there's still a lot more in the city. So the fastest way to get around looks to be these Lime scooters. So this is gonna be one of the first times that we're able to record the journey with our new GoPro.
Riding around a city on those scooters will literally never get boring. We were trying to stay close to this area because we know that we have the food tour here in not too long, but we ended up just kind of making a giant circle on our way back. So we are back in the city center. We were thinking about getting dessert, but we lost track of time on the scooter. So now we'll maybe just get a local refreshment of some kind before we make our way over to the tour later on.
People are very fast eaters, so we really enjoy the places when we can come, get our meals in 5 minutes, and then we can leave. So this is super tiny eatery, You can also guys have a look inside, but it will be like our street food stuff, okay? I would just let her know that we are here and come back to you in a second. Pierogarnia in Poland, it's the type of the eatery that specializes in pierogi. So you can say it's like pizzeria. Every time you see the sign Pierogarnia, it's not only the name of that place, but it's the type of the eatery that you can find here. Pierogarnia, it's always the best place to try pierogi because here you can be sure that they are fresh, handmade, and taste exactly like at home. This is the potato and cheese, and this is the sauerkraut and mushroom. We have that's like the Polish forest blueberries. So they are smaller and they are darker also, and they are a little bit tartar, so they are not so super sweet. So right now, the Kazimierz and with the Jewish Quarter, this is the part of the city where local people meet. When I want to go out with my friends or family, we actually avoid the old town area because it's a bit too commercialized and too touristy. There you can find all the international chains like Starbucks, McDonald's, Burger King. You can't find any of these kind of places here. So here you only find like a small family businesses. That's what local people prefer to support. That's why we mainly meet here. And also the prices are a little bit lower and it's also a bit calmer here and cozier. That's what you will see later. So now it's time for the Polish soups. Let's go inside. Also like a family-oriented restaurant and a family restaurant as well, because all the vegetables that Dorota uses in her kitchen comes from her brother's farm. So her brother is a farmer outside of Krakow, so everything is like really fresh and really good quality. We will sample some of their dishes. They specialize in like home-cooked meals. Let's go inside. It's made of the apples, pears, rhubarb, and some strawberries.
At the end of the first day, we had a food tour that kind of took us to a bunch of smaller places away from the main square, which is, I'm really glad we keep doing these food tours because we get to see the dishes that are the most popular without paying like tourist prices. Mm-hmm. So the beginning of the tour, we met up and our first stop was a pierogi like little shop, and I think she said they have 16 different pierogis they offer. They were phenomenal. We tried some that didn't even know existed, like the dessert pierogi.
Blueberry pierogi, so good. These types of food tours are great, especially going with a local. She let us know that like some of the dishes she showed us weren't like the marketed tourist food things. It was like what her mom made or what her grandma made growing up, which was, I mean, that's what we're here for, is like authentic food.
The last location we went to was a bar that she was quite familiar with. She actually helps out from time to time, but we tried some craft beers and some Polish vodka, where we ended up staying till about 1 a.m. having a good time. And it's a good thing that our tour that was scheduled for today is later in the day because it had quite a bit of slow start.
Yeah, this morning we're doing something that, I mean, it's kind of weird to say that we're looking forward to it, but Jordan's a World War II buff, and even talking with our tour guide last night, she was stressing how important it is that everybody does this at least once. So we're going to be spending this afternoon/morning in Auschwitz. I don't think we're going to do any type of speaking during that. I know that we can take pictures and videos, so it'll just kind of be a silent vlog for this portion of it. It's going to definitely be a somber afternoon, but we'll catch up with you guys once we finish there. What you just saw was a glimpse into our afternoon at Auschwitz. The videos really don't do it any justice. We spent about 6.5 hours there. It was heartbreaking and harrowing. And I mean, overall just so important. I'm really glad that we went. We learned so much. Now we're just kind of gonna wrap up the evening, maybe get some food. We're back in like the Jewish quarter. So hopefully there'll be really good food here. And then we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning.
This is the first time we're making, and my grandma would always tell me, because she was the one who taught me how to make pierogi and other Polish meals, that you have to be in a good mood to cook, because she always says, I don't want to eat your problems, okay? Because you are, especially when you make the dough, this is important, because you are putting, you know, your energy into the dough. And if you put some problems, then we will all eat it, and I don't want to eat your problems, okay? So please don't put it into the pierogi. We will start from making the dough, because the dough needs to rest a little bit after we make it, and then we will make the fillings, okay? The dough needs flour, of course, the main product. And I'm using my family recipe, because, you know, that's how I was making pierogi since I was a kid. and it varies a little bit sometimes, but it always goes around similar ingredients, yes? Minutes, and this is when we will make the filling. Cheese and potato pierogi, the most traditional ones, and if you had pierogi, maybe you already saw it, that the way we eat it is with the fried onion as a topping. So we need the pierogi for we need onions for the filling. And the onions for the filling we put on the pan now with butter, and I add some garlic and we caramelize it, and some of it we keep for the end when we fried it, and this will be our topping, okay? And we have the potatoes already boiled, and so you just boil them, and if you can mash them, yes, now.
So much better than cutting onions.
I'll mash potatoes all day.
All day.
So just a little bit, so it's not sticking, you can have a little bit on the roller, and we can start rolling. And to avoid the sticking, you just flip the dough more often, okay? No, it's okay, it's okay. This is fine. Sometimes people put like the whole, you know. So you take one circle, and you want the side that touch the table to be up, okay? And now we take less than a teaspoon, maybe like a half of the teaspoon. You put it in the middle, okay? And you always want to have this circle of the dough quite big, yes? Because now this will be how we stick it together, yes? These two sides of the dough, and now you stick it with your fingers like that, yes? Congratulations, thank you very much.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you.
Quite literally.
Now you are masters, so now you can go to the world and spread, okay?
Put that on your resume.
We just finished with our pierogi making class, and it was so cool. It was just inside of her apartment, and she told us the story about the apartment complex owner, how he lived through the Holocaust as a mechanic. And she said that she's making a documentary for it, and whenever she finishes, she's going to email it to us. So when that's finished, we'll put that in the description down below. But if it's not down there, then she's not done yet.
Then we started making pierogis, which involved making the dough and just kind of working with it, kneading it. And we had to let it rise for quite some time. There was when we made the inside ingredients, which involved potatoes and onions. So had to mash the potatoes, cut the onions.
And cheese.
And from there, we learned we were also making a dessert pierogi, which was apples and cinnamon.
The class was so much fun. We actually ran into a couple that we did the food walking tour with. So like, you know, small world. We had an amazing time. Jordan actually used to love eating pierogis as a kid, like as many as he possibly could. So it was kind of like reliving childhood memories mixed with like just a completely new experience. So now we've got about 2.5, 3 hours before we're going to the salt mines. So just enough time to explore the city a little bit more. And let's go.
After exploring parts of the city again, we were trying to find food, and eventually we stumbled our way back to the hotel just to drop things off and get some food. It was really cool, like food truck place right outside. But unfortunately, we didn't realize how far away our next event was and how long food was going to take to get. So we ended up rushing out of there to show up here at the salt mines. So we're running a little late. We'll catch up with you guys when we're done. So the salt mine.
That place was freaking massive.
As we're going down, they were talking about the history of it and how the different tools and everything evolved as the mine just grew through the ages, and you could see some of what was left, how they tried to chisel into the walls, and you could see some of the last remains of how they used to mine, the different carts they used, and how they decorated or made sculptures to contribute to the people that have visited or the important people of the mines. And I think two of the coolest things, for me at least, was the statues made out of salt.
Oh yeah.
Like everything that you saw, everything that we could show with the quality and the darkness of the mines was salt. Obviously the support structures and everything were, but this other thing that was cool was the full chapel that was there.
Oh yeah.
And he was saying that the chandeliers, and every chandelier that we showed was made of salt. Purest form of the salt as the crystal, but one of them was 6 meters high or 6 meters tall. It's a lot of salt. You can also, as part of the chapel, you can also reserve it for your wedding. So far underground in this beautiful place with like different pictures of like the Last Supper was on the wall, etched into the salt. And there's like a reception area upstairs where you can just entertain guests. It's crazy to me.
I think my favorite part was probably the chandeliers. Would have just assumed that they were crystals, and then he's like, oh no, they're made out of salt too. And we were like, all right then, sure. So the tour was about 2 hours long. We ended up about 135 meters below the surface, so quite deep.
And the whole time we're going down, I'm thinking, hopefully we don't have to turn back around and walk all those steps back up.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have been too difficult. The temperature in the mine was pretty cool. I was expecting it actually to be kind of hot.
We asked one of our previous tour guides what we should wear to the mine, and they were just like good walking shoes and maybe a jacket because it gets to about 16 degrees Celsius, so about like 56 degrees Fahrenheit or so. So I brought a jacket. I'm glad that I had it, but I think you were probably fine the whole time.
Yeah, it was good. Towards the end of the tour, we had the opportunity to go back through the gift shop again and just eventually make our way towards the elevator, which was the smallest elevator I've ever been on, as well as the kind of scariest elevator.
Yeah, but it was so fast. So even if you were scared, like it's over before you even realize it. But we got some like bath salts for some of our family, and then we also got
this handmade chocolate bar with chunks of salt peeking out in the chocolate. We're gonna give it a try.
Because, you know, why not? Ooh, look at that. 2 pieces broke off just perfect. Just got caramel.
Pretty big chunks of salt.
They're really good though.
Yeah, you want another bite?
Yeah, I think I will. Overall, salt mines, pretty incredible. I'm really glad that we went. I know not everybody said that it's like a must-see, but I'm glad that we did it. I've never experienced anything like that. Get the chocolate if you come. It's good.
So now we're going to try what we did before we tried to come to the mines. We're going to try and go get food at the same place we were now that we have plenty of time for the rest of the day. It's only 7 o'clock. And just look for dinner and probably call it a night.
Yeah, maybe get an early start for tomorrow because it's our last day.
Yeah.
All right, so take 2 was a success, and you can probably see why we went back for these babies because, oh my gosh, this is the most scrumptious veggie burger I've ever laid my eyes on.
And I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the giant syringe poking out of my burger, but I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, the nightlife down there looks like it would be a lot of fun. I mean, it's literally right there. However, the mosquitoes are so bad here. Like, it's not just at our hotel. Everywhere we have gone, the bugs have been so bad. Like, I don't know what it is with these mosquitoes, but they are out to get me.
They're talking to how sweet you are.
Oh, dings. So we are going to finish up this delicious dinner and then kick things off super early in the morning. Good morning. We are starting our day off pretty much as usual here in Poland. We took the scooters over to the city center, which was like less than $2.
and this thing was less than $1.
Which we're super excited to try because everybody is eating them. They're on like every shop corner, and Jordan loves bread, so. Ooh, it's crunchy.
Got some sesame seed on the outside, very crunchy, but yeah, good.
Just to be safe, we were gonna be at the airport about 3-ish hours early. So we've got about 3-ish hours to kind of explore a little bit more. Feel like we've seen a lot of the city center, but there's a lot of food that we skipped over. We weren't sure what the food tour was going to bring us, so we've missed a lot of like the donut stands and like, you know, the local cuisine. So we may just kind of snack on that in lieu of breakfast. On the back of our pierogi-making certificate, there's a list of places that we could try for food. So we wandered over to one of them, and we got this, which I believe is that right there. And if the blog I read online is to be believed, it's basically the same thing as a donut, but there's a little bit of alcohol mixed in with the dough. It's not supposed to be as oily because the alcohol helps combat some of the oils that are picked up when you fry it. So we got the unfilled one. I know that like rose one is really popular, and then there's also like a pineapple one, a cream-filled one, but neither of us are like the biggest fans of cream-filled donuts, so we figured our best shot of liking this is just as is. Oh yeah. That's super good. It is like a little lighter and fluffier than like a regular donut.
It's not too heavy.
It's really light and spongy. You just got more to explore. The city's not as happening as it has been over the long weekend. So it's Monday, and I think people are just kind of at work. There's not as much to see in the city center, but I'm sure we can find something to do.
Between the weather and the scenery, this place is incredible. There's lots of gardens, lots of cool architecture, so we're just gonna walk around, see what's free, what's available, what we can do for another about half hour, and then we're gonna make our way towards lunch to hopefully get some last good Polish food, and then eventually make our way towards the airport, where we'll unfortunately have to say goodbye and do all the necessary stuff to fly back home. But it's been lovely. We like to give ourselves extra time in the city because it allows us to go and check out the different shops and restaurants.
Like the Harry Potter cafe. It was so cool. It was just this like little tiny sign that was just like Harry Potter stuff this way. So we snuck over, went downstairs, and it was like really a hidden gem. If you like Harry Potter stuff at all, totally worth going to. There was like different types of stuff you could buy there. The drinks were kind of fun. Mine had dry ice in it, so it looked like a bubbling potion. You got butterbeer.
I did. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and like just a lot of Harry Potter decor and things like that. So big old nerd right here, so it made me very happy. And now we are just here enjoying our very last Polish meal. Pierogis, of course. So we're just gonna finish up here, and then that wraps up our time here in Poland.
From here, we head to the airport, take a COVID test, fly home. So thank you guys so much for joining us. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below and hit the like button. We'll catch you in our next adventure.
All right, off to number 12. Woo-hoo.